Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor Hamza. Thank you for tuning in. So, this one I think I'm going to call The Hand That Shapes the Clay. So, when Moses was alive and when he was doing his works that he did, first of all, in the story of Moses, which a lot of people think is fictional, and I'll just take a neutral point of view, but he was kind of a bad guy during a lot of his life, at the beginning anyway, and then he killed somebody and he ran away, and then the burning bush and all this other stuff, and he turned around and did all these things, but he was chosen, later in his life. He lived a long time, but with that said, I was thinking about it. So, God said to Moses, raise your staff and hit it on the ground, and then, water appeared, and then another miracle when the, Red Sea parted, and so if we think about it and we take it at face value, it's said in the Bible that God is a spirit. So when God is a spirit, why did, Moses have to do anything, right? So the idea of God as a spirit is that God works through people. And so when Jesus, went and healed people and everything, God worked through Jesus. So when things happen, people say, God worked through me. When Jesus said to his disciples, go speak, and, the Holy Spirit will give you, the information what to say. So the Holy Spirit was working through people. So this video is about, what does that mean when people are being used and worked through? So a lot of people, are starting to think about our reality as some type of simulation. That's not really what I'm going to be talking about but it is a interesting analogy to use for the typeface of the words that I'm talking about, to come through. So same kind of thing. So when we're, we have to clean the temple of our bodies for that Holy Spirit to work through us. So I was giving some years ago, and many years ago, when I lived with, Native Americans. I talked about this before, up in the mountains of Pennsylvania. They were talking about people with hollow bones, and they said, you have hollow bones. So you have, there's certain people, let's say channeling, there's certain people that have these hollow bones, as the Native Americans said. There's certain people that can almost move themselves out of the way to let their bodies be used for this, higher power. Now, there's something called possession. So that would be when basically, it doesn't mean only a negative force, but a force can take over your body and do something without your will, without you being involved. So what does that actually mean about ourselves? So we have a spirit within our bodies, and somebody said this to me recently. It's been sticking in my head. They said our spirits are using some psychokinetic power to actually move our own bodies. how is it that our spirits move our bodies? And that really stuck with me. And I said, wow, I never thought of it that way. That our spirits are using some kind of force to literally interface with our bodies, and then that force can be either overlaid or run through. So it's all very interesting, about how the Holy Spirit, about how God, how about these things can kind of come through and change things. Now, what do we see with a lot of changes in the world, which I talk about a lot on my videos, and I've been trying to move away from. But we see that what happens with the clay is getting to be intelligent clay. So the hand that moves the clay, and all of a sudden the clay says, hey, that's cool, I want to, maybe the hand is shaping a bowl, and then the clay says, no, you know what, I want to be, what'd be cool, I want to be a bird. And all of a sudden you get half bird, half clay shape coming out, or a bowl with birds on it, and that's kind of interesting. So there's I think in between the hand and the bowl itself being created are the fingers, and so there's a lot of in between parts. So you could say those angels are the angels of creation. I believe from the beginning of the universe are still around. They're still doing things, and then the hand is still the hand, but the clay itself, when the clay gets to be more awake and aware of what's happening, when that's happening, I think that it changes the shape of the bowl. So when we have a lot of changes coming about, there's negatives and positives within everything, but when we look around and we see certain changes, we see, now I wanted to talk about, the clay saying, hey, I'm the hand. Yeah. That's disrespectful, certainly to the hand, but there is something to be said about being clay and being able to learn from the hand and make its own shapes as well. So I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about that, because I think a lot of people forget that God is a spirit, and that we have spirits. God is bigger than all of us, and that we need to be cognizant of being the right kind of clay. So being the right kind of clay that God could shape into, the beautiful things that we want to have in our lives, that we want to do good things, and there is that, but we want to be, good clay. You don't want to be bad clay. Bad clay is clay that was, dried up, isn't wet, isn't moldable, is all these things. You could be bad clay. So we have to make ourselves good clay. We have to make ourselves good clay by prayer, by meditation, by being cognizant of, the actions we do, because we want to be, in line with all the positive things that can happen, and then, beautiful things will occur. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.